Kululukile, it's a very difficult time for you. It's a very difficult interview for you to come on to 702. You lost your son, Bongolethu. Take us through from when that happened until you are now, until where you are now. It's been a very traumatic time, hasn't it?
Yes, it has been a very traumatic time for us as a family. It has been taken quite some time also to get those results. And as you have heard before, a stampede was rolled out. But now, all of a sudden, they make a turnaround time. No, they didn't say that only once, but twice, to say the stampede was rolled out. But now, all of a sudden, in the last moment, the stampede is coming as the reason for why the kids died there. Because they say it was too full, and the kids, as they were dancing, they squashed each other, so they suffocated, and that's the reason why they died.
Is that what they told you yesterday? You were called in with other parents. Is that exactly what they told you?
That's exactly what they told us. And before that, they say the reason why they are giving us the results one by one, family by family, it's because those results came back differently. So the reason for the kids to die there won't be one reason for all of them. There will be different reasons for each child. But now all of a sudden they come back. The reason for all of the kids that die there is one. It's because of suffocating.
It doesn't make sense. It really certainly doesn't make sense. The health department officials, what else have they been saying to you about this? I mean, it's been a long road for you. Have they been giving you constant information?
We only met with them 2 times, of which in those 2 times that we met with them, there were only 3 things that were found on the children. It was methanol, alcohol, and carbon monoxide. Those were the only 3 things that were found on the system of the children.
What do they say to you when you asked to see the report?
They say legally they were advised not to do that. So if we want to get those results, we will have to apply for that to happen. Even that, it was a turnaround, because when we went there yesterday, our understanding was that each parent will get their results, the written results. That was the agreement.
I'm going to ask you a very difficult question, a really difficult one. Your observations, what are your observations? There were other parents who were saying that some of the children had pink substances in their mouths, that they observed other things. What were your observations?
It was the same observation, because when we went and identified the children, you could see as they were lying down there was something that was coming out of their mouth. And even the time when they were in mortuary, their body, they were not in a good state to show that there is something that they have consumed in that place.
I see you've got your other child with you this morning who's quite vocal, and very welcome on 702. Kululukile, just, from hearing what you've said, you must be very frustrated, because I'm sure you've also heard and you've been speaking to other parents about their observations. What are you all saying to each other apart from what you've just said? What's the general picture that you think has emerged?
Well, the general picture, what is emerged from our side, it seems as if there's something that they are hiding, but we don't know. Then that's the reason why, as parents, we will convene, and then we'll see the step. How do we go forward from here? But most definitely, we will have to seek some legal advice as well.
Yeah, I would think that would be the way to go to perhaps look at that. Would you possibly? I mean, there's a monetary sort of aspect to this, I suppose. Although no money can replace a child, but would you perhaps be looking at suing the state and saying to the state, "We're going to force you to release this report. We're going to force you to release it so we can scrutinize it and we can go through every step that you've taken."
You know, when we were given those results yesterday, I even say to the team that was giving us those results, I say, I'm not sure it is because they know or what, that when we want a private pathologist, we will have to fork out of our own pockets, and that is quite expensive. But we will make means to make sure that we get the right thing to be done for our team.
Yeah. Perhaps you could also do a class action lawsuit. Perhaps there are all sorts of things that you could do. The owners of the tavern, I think they're appearing in court today. Have you been going to court? Are the other parents, are they also going to court?
Yes, in their last court appearance, as parents, we were there.
And what sort of...
And even today, some of the parents will be in court.
And what sort of responsibility do you think that they bear?
Well, they are the owners of the establishment. They have to take full responsibility of what happened there. But when we see in court, it was also shocking because you could see that they were not remorseful at all about that.
Mm. Your son, Bongoletu Ndana, he was laid to rest on his birthday, am I right?
Yes, he was laid to rest on his birthday, which is the 9th of July.
And he would have been 18 years old.
He has been 18 years old.
What would you like to say to those who have been investigating? What would you like to say to the authorities in charge? 702's on, public are listening. What would you like to say to those people who have been investigating?
Well, what I would like the investigator to do is to do a thorough work, do a thorough report so that justice can be done.
Yeah, I totally understand that. The rest of your family, how they're bearing up? Your wife, the other children?
It's quite difficult. We are in and out of the health facilities because of this.
It's quite something. Khululekile Ndana will be keeping in contact with you every step of the way until we also get some answers for you here on 702. And our deepest and sincerest condolences on the passing of your son.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. That's Khululekile Ndana. He lost his son, Bongoletu Ndana, in the Enyobeni Tarven tragedy. Your reaction to this? We would like answers. We would like to see exactly what's happened. I'd like to hear from you on this. 011-883-0702. Listening to what happened in Africa this morning also didn't tie up whatsoever. Just didn't make sense.
Current events, developing stories.
Tough questions.
Your voice making a difference.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa.